Hello students, I am Ms. Diksha Gaonkar, Assistant Professor in Botany from Government College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Kepe. Coming to program, Bachelor of Science, 3rd year, Subject, Botany, Semester 5, Course Code BOC 106, Course Title, Cell Biology and Plant Biochemistry. Title of the unit, Biomolecules. Module name, Properties and Biological Role of Lipids and Fatty Acids. Outline, Types of Biomolecules, Introduction to Lipids and Fatty Acids, Properties of Lipids and Fatty Acids, and Biological Role of Lipids and Fatty Acids. Learning outcomes. At the end of the module, you will be able to define what are lipids and fatty acids, list the properties of lipids and fatty acids, and list the biological role of lipids and fatty acids. So, we have different biological compounds, the biomolecules, proteins, carbohydrate, lipids, nucleic acids. So, now in this module, we will focus on lipids. So, what are lipids? So, lipids, it comes from the Greek word lipos, which means the fat, are the heterogeneous group of compounds related to fatty acids and includes fats, oils, waxes, etc. The term lipid was first given by German biochemist, that is Blur, in year 1943. Now, what are fatty acids? So, fatty acids are long-chain organic acids having 3 to 30 carbon atoms. And they have single carboxylic group and a long non-polar hydrocarbon tail, which gives most of the lipids hydrophobic and oily or greasy nature. Fatty acids do not occur in a free or uncombined state in the living cells. Now, fatty acids which occur in the natural fats are usually monocarboxylic and contain the number of carbon atoms which are synthesized from 2 carbon units, and they are straight chain derivatives. So, carbon chains of the fatty acids can be saturated or they can be unsaturated. So, saturated fatty acids will contain only the single bond, whereas the unsaturated fatty acids, they will contain double bonds. It can be 1 double bond, 2 double bond, okay, depending upon that, the unsaturated fatty acid will be formed. Now, what is the difference between lipids and fatty acid? This is very important. So, lipids are the polymers of fatty acids with the non-polar hydrocarbon chain and small polar oxygen group. Whereas the fatty acids, these are the long chain of hydrocarbons with carboxylic acid group at one of the end. Lipids are the broader classes of biomolecules and fatty acids are the part of it. Whereas the fatty acids are either saturated or unsaturated. Now, coming to the physical properties of lipids and fatty acids. So, first one is state. Fats contain saturated fatty acids and are solid at room temperature. So, to cite an example, we have animal fats, whereas the plant's fats, they possess unsaturated fatty acid and they are liquid at room temperature. Then the color, odor and the taste of the lipids and the fatty acid. So in the pure state, the fats are colorless, odorless and possess bland taste, tasteless. Solubility, they are hydrophobic in nature and fats are very less soluble in water. Coming to the melting point of fatty acids is lowered with increase in the number of double bonds. And this is why unsaturated fatty acids have lower melting point. And that is why they constitute oils. Specific gravity. The specific gravity of the fat is less than 1. Hence, they float on the surface of the water. Insulation. The fats possess high insulating power and they are bad conductors of heat. Emulsification. It is a process by which the lipid mass is converted into number of small lipid droplets. Chemical properties of lipids and fatty acids. The first one is hydrolysis. So the fats are hydrolyzed by different enzymes. So lipase is one example to yield fatty acids and glycerol. And lipase catalyzes the reaction at slightly alkaline pH, that is at pH 7.5 to 8.5. Next one is saponification. So the hydrolysis of fats by alkali, which are basic in nature, is called as saponification, and this results in the formation of glycerol and the salts of fatty acids. So soaps are examples under this. Hydrolytic rancidity. So when the butter or the other fats are stored, they become rancid and unpalatable. So in some cases, this rancidity is caused due to the growth of certain microorganisms which secretes an enzyme such as lipases. And when these enzymes is acted upon these fatty acids, it splits it into glycerol and fatty acids. Next one is oxidative rancidity. Oils containing high unsaturated fatty acids are spontaneously oxidized by atmospheric oxygen. So presence of atmospheric oxygen plays very important role in oxidative rancidity at room temperatures. Coming to the biological role of fatty acids. So fatty acids and lipids plays vast diverse role in the biological system. So food material, it acts as a food material. Food reserve, structural component of the cell, heat insulation, fatty acid absorption. Some more role to cite here: hormone synthesis, vitamin carrier, antibiotic agent, blood cholesterol lowering. So let us discuss about each of this role. First one is food material. So lipids provide food high, rich in calorific value. So 1 gram of lipid produces 9.3 kilocalories of heat. Second one is food reserve. Lipid products are insoluble in aqueous solution and hence they can be stored readily in the body as a food reserve. Third one, structural component. Lipids are very important constituents of the cell membrane. Heat insulation. The fats are characterized for their high insulating capacity. So, great quantities of fats are deposited in the subcutaneous layers in the aquatic mammals. To cite an example, we have whale. Fatty acid absorption. Phospholipid plays important role in the absorption and transportation of fatty acids. Hormone synthesis. So there are different hormones such as sex hormone or adrenocorticoids, cholic acid, vitamin D are all synthesized from the cholesterol and steroidal lipids. Vitamin carrier. So lipid acts as a carrier of natural fat soluble vitamins such as vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, etc. Antibiotic agent, we have squalene, a steroid from the blood of the shark, shows antibiotic and antifungal properties of intense activity. Eighth, we have lipids are the major source of energy in animals and high lipid containing seeds. Protection, protecting the plant leaves from drying up. Last one, we have activators of enzymes. Example, glucose 6-phosphate, beta hydroxybutyric dehydrogenases, etc. Summary. So in this module, we have learnt about different types of biomolecules. We have listed carbohydrate, proteins, lipids, fatty acids. So in detail, we have discussed about lipids and fatty acids. So lipids and fatty acids, we have seen the types, that is saturated and unsaturated. Properties we have seen: saponification, melting point, emulsification, etc. Biological role: food material, food reserve, hormone synthesis, heat insulation, etc. References: these are some of the books that I have referred. These are some of the websites that I have referred. Thank you.